Welcome back to the channel, Braves Country. Drop everything you are doing because the ground beneath the National League East just shifted, and we need to talk about whether the Atlanta Braves are ready for the seismic changes happening both inside and outside the organization. We're covering the definitive Hall of Fame moment, the trade drama unfolding with our fiercest rivals, and the terrifying injury news that means the Braves front office cannot afford to wait another second. Let's start with the immediate threats because the urgency is palpable. Just yesterday, the New York Mets completed a monumental trade, snagging outfielder Luis Robert Jr. from the Chicago White Sox. This wasn't just a minor roster move. This was a declaration of war. The Mets, in giving up Luisangel Acuna and a minor league pitcher, have signaled that they are going all in right now to compete for the division crown. Luis Robert Jr. is a perennial MVP candidate, a five-tool player who instantly transforms the Mets lineup from competitive to downright terrifying. The Braves have long enjoyed the dominance of the NL East, built on a foundation of stellar offense and elite youth. But the Mets' acquisition of Robert Jr. erases any perceived gap we thought existed. The question that management must answer immediately is, how do the Atlanta Braves respond? Standing pat is no longer an option. Our sources indicate that the phone lines between Atlanta and the remaining sellers in the league are red hot. Alex Anthopoulos has always been a general manager who prefers to work in silence, making surgical, high-impact moves. But the Robert Jr. trade forces a louder, more immediate response. Do we pursue a high-end starter to fortify the rotation against this newly powered Mets offense? Or do we look for depth and power to ensure our lineup remains untouchable? This urgency is compounded by internal news regarding Ha-Seong Kim. While Kim is not an Atlanta Brave, the news that he will miss several months due to a hand injury creates a vacuum in the positional market. This injury affects potential trade partners and crucially shifts the dynamic for positional needs across the league. If the Braves were quietly pursuing a certain caliber of middle infielder or corner outfielder, Kim's absence might mean that other teams now jump into the market aggressively, driving up prices and reducing available options. The window for a savvy, cheap acquisition is closing fast, and Anthopoulos needs to leverage this turbulent market moment. This leads us directly into speculation and prediction, the lifeblood of Braves country, Ronald Acuna Jr. We're looking ahead to 2026, and the expectations are, frankly, astronomical. Last season, Acuna proved he is a generational talent, combining power, speed, and defense in a way we haven't seen since the days of the 40-40 club. But talking heads across the sports spectrum are, unbelievably, underestimating what he is capable of in the next few years. Our analysis suggests Acuna is poised not just to repeat his MVP performance, but to ascend into a realm of performance that rewrites the modern record books. Why? It's not just about talent. It's about optimization and mental refinement. Acuna is mastering the strike zone, reducing unnecessary swings, and leveraging his incredible speed not just for stolen bases, but for turning singles into doubles and doubles into triples. We predict that 2026 will be the year he flirts seriously with the impossible 50-50 club, 50 home runs, and 50 stolen bases. Think about the legacy impact of that achievement. If he achieves this, he is not just a Hall of Famer. He is potentially the GOAT for his era. We expect his OPS to hover consistently above the 1,000 mark, driven by an optimized swing path that maximizes lift and power regardless of pitch location. The league simply hasn't developed a consistent answer for him, and by 2026, his physical peak will coincide with his maximum intellectual understanding of opposing pitchers. Now, let's pivot to legacy. Tuesday was a transcendent day for the Atlanta Braves organization, a day that officially cemented the greatness of one of the franchise's most beloved and historically underrated players. Andruw Jones has finally been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Receiving 333 of 425 votes, he secured his place in the 2026 class, rightfully taking his spot alongside baseball's immortals. This news is more than just a ceremony. It's validation for a career that many argued was delayed in its recognition. We need to talk about why this matters so profoundly. Jones wasn't just a great player, he was the definition of a complete player in the post-Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz era. While his offensive numbers were stellar, 434 home runs, nearly 2,000 hits, it was his defense that set him apart. 10 Gold Gloves, a defensive fielding percentage of 99.2%, and the ability to track down fly balls in center field that defied physics. He fundamentally changed how baseball evaluated the defensive contributions of an outfielder. But here's the crucial insider angle that most fans missed about this vote. Andruw Jones's election isn't just about his stats. It's a powerful philosophical shift among the Baseball Writers Association of America, BBWAA. For years, voters penalized Jones for the early drop-off in his offensive production after leaving Atlanta, prioritizing peak longevity over generational peak dominance. His Barr election, especially alongside Carlos Beltran, suggests a critical reevaluation of defensive value and the acceptance of shorter, more explosive career peaks. This precedent is vital for future Braves players whose careers might be marked by high peaks but potentially shorter overall tenures. It validates the impact argument over the accumulation argument. Furthermore, Jones's entry solidifies the legacy of that incredible 1990s and early 2000s Braves dynasty. He now stands alongside those pitching legends, giving that incredible team a balanced representation in Cooperstown. It's an emotional moment for longtime Braves fans who watched him play with fearless athleticism every single night. The defense he played was poetry in motion, and now that poetry is forever enshrined. Speaking of enshrined legends, we must briefly touch on the retirement of Rich Hill, a true veteran of the game. Hill's decision not to play in 2026 marks the end of an era for the seasoned, crafty, left-handed pitcher. While he never pitched for the Braves, his presence in the league was a constant reminder of how grit and determination can overcome the odds. His departure slightly thins the available veteran pitching pool, another minor factor influencing Anthopoulos' strategic planning. Finally, the Marlins and Rockies made a small but interesting swap, with Miami acquiring Bradley Blaylock. This indicates that the Marlins, always a wild card in the NL East, are still looking to shore up their pitching depth. While not directly impactful, every minor move within the division increases the competitive pressure on Atlanta. The NL East is rapidly becoming the most competitive division in baseball, forcing the Braves to maintain their elite performance year after year. To recap, the Braves are facing immediate trade pressure from the Mets' blockbuster move. They are dealing with market volatility driven by key injuries in the positional market, and yet the foundation of the franchise is bolstered by the Hall of Fame election of Andruw Jones and the undeniable historic future promise of Ronald Acuna Jr. Atlanta is poised for greatness, but the path ahead is fraught with competitive peril. The front office must act decisively and quickly. Tell me in the comments below. If you were Alex Anthopoulos, what is your immediate counter move to the Mets? Do you trade for an elite starter, or do you focus on adding another power bat to the lineup? Let's hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more exclusive Braves analysis.